What's up guys, this is Void of Dust Gaming, and today I've got some short Sinestrea guide or some more into detail Sinestrea build that I was asked about on YouTube. So this is kind of like a walkthrough for beginners. I'm going to talk about some of the abilities. I'm going to talk about the build and why it complements her abilities in the respect of getting more health. I will talk about what items I choose over other items, and I will have some nice gameplay where I'm talking about how I am kind of going in, what kind of situations do I try to avoid, how am I using her ultimate in offensive situations, how in defensive situations, and all the stuff that you need to know about her. I don't have that many games on her, but I've got the feeling that Sinestrea and I go along quite well. And as I was asked about it, and this was a really nice game, I just thought, let's just turn it into something qualitatively nice for YouTube. So let me know what you think about the video. The comment section is free down this video. As always, if you enjoyed this kind of content, let me know what guide or what in-depth analysis I should do next for what hero. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, now is a great chance to do so. Hit the subscription button, put on the notifications bell so that you are informed every single time I upload some of my Arena of Valor or my Wild Rift videos. And I hope you will have a pleasant stay and watch a lot of videos, of course. This is what you came here for. So let's check out Sinestrea. Build comes first, afterwards some gameplay. So guys, this is my jungle build. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. Attack damage, it's based on critical damage. We're trying to get as much crit as possible with this build, while having some utilities such as the Omni Arms to support our health gain even further. That is kind of like something that is implemented in Sinestrea anyways, but we're going to stress that even further with some of the items here. So this is full damage. Of course, that means that you need to hold yourself back a little bit because you are going to stand in melee range a lot. I'm going to talk about that in detail in the upcoming video. But as you can see, we've got the crit assassin build here. I'm going with 16% more critical chance coming from 10 times atrocity level 3. Then I'm going in with guerrilla with more attack speed and more movement speed. Attack speed is really nice on her because it means that you will hit things faster. And that means that you are going to get more health equally, because of course every hit means getting health back if you've got your sword in your hand. To penetrate the enemies, because some of them will have some armor, we're going in with the skewer, and that is going to be our Arcana build. Enchantment wise, I have tried out the Shadow Blade. That goes really nicely because you've got the dash ability 2 times. Then, of course, we're going in with Deadly Claw, and we're going to have Desperate Duel, so she's really good on the one-on-one. She's not really excelling in team fights, but of course there are situations where that is kind of reversed. For example, if you manage to dive into the backline and you do get some mages and you do get some AD carries, she is just eating them alive. You're going to see that in the upcoming video as well. And we are using the backstabbing, but the backstabbing is sort of something that we're just using because we want to have the regrowth, because we are having some healing effects that is part of her kit and it's really important about her, and with that we're getting more health back, and this is going to be insane. 250 health on one hit. Here we go. This is the upcoming video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did in the game. Alright guys, so this is my little guide for Sinestrea in the jungle, and we are using the second ability at first. That is the ability that's going to be the one that we are maxing, and then we are using ability number 1 just basically as a gap closer or to get away if opponents are dealing too much damage to us. The first thing that's really important about Sinestrea, and I can't stress that enough, is that she is some sort of glass cannon assassin like warrior, she goes in, uses her melee damages, her melee attacks to stack up some health, and then she uses her range attacks that she gets when she presses her second ability like that, and they become range attacks, and then she's going to deplenish her health. But then on the other hand, the enemies will kind of consume some stacks that are then used to create some kind of area of effect. That's kind of crazy about her, and that's the thing that makes her really difficult to play. So on the one hand, you've got this super cool melee based damage that you are using to get back your health, and on the other hand, you have the problem that you will use these kind of attacks that you're going to see me using right now. Not these ones where she kind of throws around some shards or rose petals or whatever that stuff is supposed to be. And the problem is it deplenishes her health on the one hand, and then on the other hand, you can put down some kind of template, and that template is causing damage to the enemy. So I'm super lucky here because I'm using my ultimate. The ultimate is a great tool that you can use for trade with enemies, because what you're going to do is you are going to take their health and your health, and you are going to put those two together, and then you're going to distribute them by 2. So what you want to have, there are perfect situations for that, and I'm going to show you one exact example afterwards in this video where I'm going to fight a butterfly and I'm fairly low, and I will beat the crap out of her because I'm using the ultimate in a quite smart way. So this kind of build that we're focusing on, you can see that I'm kind of back in the talking flow. I had some problems at the beginning of the video because I had to switch to English after talking to some Germans at the beginning of that stuff. So in this case, that wasn't played that smart, but the problem is you are some sort of AD carry. So you've got the range and you do some damage, but the main damage and the massive damage comes from your auto attacks whenever you switch to the melee mode. The problem behind that is that you have no armor at all. So you are basically an AD carry that can't rely on his range, such as Valheim, or even crazier, we've got Elsu in this game who's got a really long range, especially on his S2. So you don't have the range, you've got insane damage, an insane damage potential, but the problem is that you will just need to apply that right in the face of the enemy, and that's going to cause a lot of trouble. So my advice on playing Sinestrea to the fullest, and I hope I give you some advice with this video. I've only played 4 games with her, but I've got a 75% win rate, which is kind of 3 games out of those 4, which isn't too bad. But I have great fun, and I've got the feeling that I'm kind of good with her. So here I used the ultimate as some kind of defense tool, and with that I was able to kind of just jump out this kind of situation. So my advice, to come back to the point, my advice on Sinestrea is basically use the camps in the jungle to get health back. These are your little health pots that you can find throughout the enemy jungle and throughout your jungle. Use them wisely. These are going to be your health pots, in addition to the pots that you find behind the towers, such as this one. And then you need to build some items. Before you haven't finished the first or the second, it's the second or the third item, you are not supposed to go in and dive it. That's at least my experience that I had so far. You can see that I'm always running around the enemies here. I'm trying to poke them, but the problem is while you are poking them, if you use your S2 as some kind of poking tool to kind of switch into range mode, and then you go into kind of harass the enemy from afar, you will lose your life, you will just deplenish your health all the time, and that makes you vulnerable to enemy encounters. And that's a problem, especially if you've got something such as, we've got Ignis, we've got Deo-chan who's got a really good freeze ability, we've got Irie who can just throw out some of her shuriken, and that's going to cause some stun effect. So that's all some sort of problematic field that you need to avoid if you want to be successful and kill people. So what is your friend? Like basically what you can play with are one-on-one situations, because even if you are going to be down, if your health is going to be decreased, what's going to help you is this kind of situation. As you've seen, Butterfly was encountering me, my health was going low, and I had the possibility to just switch back into the ult mode. I took some of her life, transferred it to me, and her life was reduced. She did not really think about it too much, and that caused the problem that now she needs to retreat. So we kind of used it quite wisely. On the other hand, what you can do, what I told you at the beginning of the video is basically what you can do is you can put some kind of template down. So what you can do in a one-on-one situation would basically be use your range and put on some stacks on the enemy. And then if you put the template right on their heads, this is going to cause damage and slow them as well. So this is kind of like another damage tool for you. Here I use my ultimate in a bad way because I took less health and I had more health, so I combined the one with the other, and the problem resulting from that was that I was giving Elsu health back instead of taking it from him. So you need to be careful about that. I am going to do that in the video a second time, at least from what I remember. The game was actually quite fast-paced in the end. I just played it a couple of minutes ago, and so the game feels quite warm. That was the reason why I wanted to continue with this video straight afterwards. So we have this kind of situation. We're going to build some items, and I was really surprised by the massive amounts of damage that I was doing. I even found me at the spot where I thought, okay, I've got my build sorted out, I've got everything completed, and then I just realized that I haven't built the Sancti. The Sancti was already missing, and basically the Sancti, as I'm going to play my crit build, is one of the most important things that you're going to apply, because it is increasing your critical chance, the chance to actually activate or kind of like trigger a critical hit on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's going to increase your crit damage by a lot. So I was kind of confused, and that's really good because she kind of nukes enemies with her auto attacks. That's crazy about her, and your main source of damage is the auto attacks. That, I think, makes Sinestrea kind of difficult for people to play her, because she feels like it's some kind of like a mixed adventure. So you've got melee attacks, you've got really strong melee attacks, as you can see here. If I'm critting, things are going to be quite nice, and you got 250 health from each of the attacks. We're building Devil's Handshake. That was not in my initial build, but I put it in, and you will find it in the intro where I'm talking about the build. If you skip that section, you should go back to it, and you can see the build that I have been choosing, and you will see why I chose it. In this case, I think Irie gets... Did she get it or didn't she get it? Main issue is what I really feel bad about is the fact that you've got this some sort of you need to be super careful with her. You've got this sort of blood ritual standing here right next to the screen. That's kind of confusing, because if you press it, you will cause some damage to trigger. So if you realize, I should have used that before when I was fighting against the butterfly, and eventually I would have killed her. It has a short delay, but if the enemy hasn't played against Sinestrea before, you might just catch them off guard and use it to the fullest. It's some kind of bomb that you use. So if you know that you're going to die anyways, hit it. You will go into some kind of detonation mode. It will have a short activation duration, and then afterwards you're going to explode. And this explosion is going to cause severe damage to the target that it hits. And that's a really good thing, and you can use that to kind of encounter the enemy. So here we go. I was using my stuff again, and you can see how much life gain I get. Okay, here we go. Butterfly killing mission is on. So I was fighting Butterfly, who had one or more kills. So she had more kills than I had. She was 1 level below, but I guess she has more gold than I did. And you can just kill her. And things are going to be even more messy because now we have the first kill and now we're going in to get some more damage. As you have seen a couple of times in this video, when you are using your your ability number 1 in the melee mode, it's going to have some kind of riposte effect. And we all know that from Florentino. So if you are standing next to some kind of target and you press the button, you will actually get them and kill them. That's the cool thing about it. Here comes the damage. And here we go. Another dead person. And this was the point where I thought, okay, I'm doing some damage. Now we've got 2.1k and we are up against Butterfly again. And here we go. I'm super low, getting some health back, and I just replenished my health with ease. And she still wants to fight it. Okay, I've got some health from the Teamy, but nonetheless, we all know what Butterfly is capable of doing. Of course, we all know those super fat butterflies, but in this case, she didn't stand a chance. Full stop. Full stop mode. Okay, here we go. Some damage applied to. And this is like one of these situations. You need to be super careful and you always need to pay attention to your health bar. It's more important than ever because you have some tools to actually play with it and it's going to decrease every single time you don't really pay attention. But look at that life gain. We don't even have the beast ready. I wonder how that would feel like. 2.3k damage without a sanctity. That is so good. And now let's kill even more enemies. Again, it's the same procedure. We're going in and we're killing things. And this time I thought, okay, 1 kill, but it doesn't feel like enough kills. Here we go with the riposte effect and we're good. That was super overextended. Of course, I had to get into that tower shot, so the enemies are going to surrender in a really short period of time. But in this kind of case, I had to go in, I had to score the triple, and now we are about to get into the last tower. So we're good. Like that would have been the first push onto the Nexus. So I guess we can say that we kind of dominated the game anyway. So this is Sinestrea. I think she does a really good job. Not many players play her, so if you want to try her out, you've got the best chances. So she won't be picked. She does shitloads of damage. As you guys are going to see, I did over 40% of damage in that team composition. Of course, we had Mina, doesn't do that much damage, and Teamy, but Valheim didn't do any damage at all in comparison to me, at least. So this was my Sinestrea game. I hope you guys liked it. If you want to see more videos, just hit the subscribe button and we'll see each other on the battlefield. Thanks and bye-bye.